Hey there, welcome back to Grave Echoes TV. If you're listening to this after midnight, maybe you should think twice. Tonight, I want to share 4 real and terrifying stories that happened exactly at the stroke of 12. All of them come from people like me. People who thought they were just imagining things until it was too late. Story 1, The Woman at the Window, told by Marcus. It happened in 2017 during the winter. I had just moved into my aunt's old house in Vermont, an isolated 2-story wooden place surrounded by pine trees and silence. My aunt had passed away, and the house was left to rot for almost a year before I took over. That night, I stayed up late unpacking. The clock in the hallway struck midnight with a strange chime, like it hadn't been used in decades. I remember thinking it was beautiful but unsettling. I was sipping coffee in the kitchen when I felt it, this pressure like someone was watching me. The hair on my neck stood up. I looked toward the window, and there she was, a woman, face pale as paper, hands pressed against the glass. Her eyes were wide, her lips moving like she was whispering something I couldn't hear. My first reaction was to rush outside and confront her. I thought it was a lost traveler or maybe a prank. But when I opened the door, she was gone. There were no footprints in the snow. I checked the security camera the next morning. The footage cut out exactly at midnight. When it came back, the only thing visible was the fog and a faint figure walking away into the woods. To this day, I still hear whispering every time the clock strikes 12. Story 2, The Man in the Corner, told by Alice. I used to work night shifts at a small local diner just off the highway. Most nights were dead quiet. But one Tuesday in October, something changed. Around midnight, a man walked in. Tall, thin, wearing a dusty black coat and a crooked smile. He didn't order anything. Just sat in the far corner and stared. I asked if he wanted coffee. He didn't answer. Minutes passed. Then he raised his hand, slowly, and pointed at me. I laughed it off, thinking it was just some weird customer. But then, the power cut out. Everything went pitch black. No lights, no noise. Just darkness. When the emergency lights came on, he was gone. I ran to the door. It was still locked from the inside. I checked the booth. On the table was a small piece of paper. Written in what looked like charcoal were 5 words. You saw me. I'm coming. I quit the next day. Story 3, The Call from Under the Bed, told by Daniel. I used to live alone in a small apartment above an old bookstore. Rent was cheap, probably because the building was ancient and had a weird smell in the halls. But I liked it. Quiet. Isolated. Until one night, everything changed. It was exactly midnight. My phone rang. Unknown number. Now, normally I ignore those, but something made me answer. There was silence at first. Then a voice. Soft. Raspy. Daniel, I see you. My stomach dropped. I tried to laugh it off, but then the voice whispered again. I'm under your bed. I froze. I didn't want to look, but I had to. I grabbed my phone's flashlight and slowly crouched down. Nothing. Empty. I sat back up, and my phone rang again. Same number. Same voice. I moved. I didn't sleep that night. I spent hours sitting in the hallway, lights on, heart racing. I had the place blessed and moved out 2 weeks later. I still get that same call every year on the same night. At midnight. Story 4, The Mirror in the Attic, told by Claire. I inherited my grandmother's estate after she passed. Big house. Lots of antiques. She always warned me never to touch the attic mirror. She said it was cursed. Of course, I thought it was just her being dramatic. One night, during a storm, the power went out. I lit some candles and decided to finally check out the attic. Curiosity. Boredom. Stupidity. The mirror was huge, covered with a black cloth. I pulled it off. At first, it showed nothing strange. Just my reflection holding a candle. But then, my reflection blinked. I didn't. My heart nearly stopped. Then it smiled. I wasn't smiling. I stepped back, but the reflection didn't. It walked forward, slowly, until its face was inches from glass. Then it mouthed something. Let me out. I threw the cloth back on and ran downstairs. The next morning, I tried to move the mirror. It was gone. But sometimes at night, I still see a flicker of movement in other mirrors around the house. Just for a second, a flash of that same smile. I don't sleep near mirrors anymore. Thanks for listening to these terrifying midnight tales. If you're still awake, maybe leave a light on tonight. This is Grave Echoes TV. See you in the next one, if the clock lets you.